How medieval peasants mastered winter survival with genius hacks. Ever wonder how medieval peasants survived those brutal, bone-chilling winters without modern conveniences like electric heaters or insulated jackets? Spoiler alert, they didn't just huddle and hope for the best. These folks were resourceful, clever, and downright ingenious, turning their humble homes into cozy sanctuaries, using tricks that would make modern engineers raise an eyebrow. Let's dive into the world of medieval winter survival, where every detail was a calculated move to keep the cold at bay. Underground havens, the art of the sunken house. Forget flimsy wooden shacks. Medieval peasants were the OGs of subterranean living. They dug their homes 2 to 3 feet into the ground, creating a natural thermal barrier. It's like they built their houses inside a giant thermos, trapping warmth where it mattered most. Archaeological studies reveal these sunken dwellings stayed about 10 degrees warmer than surface-level homes during winter. Small windows barely larger than a loaf of bread and low ceilings weren't just quirks, they were deliberate design choices to keep heat in. Imagine your mom yelling about closing the door to stop heating the whole village. Medieval peasants lived that mantra. Their walls were made of wattle and daub, think woven twigs slathered with a mix of clay, straw, and yes, manure. Gross? Maybe. Effective? Absolutely. Experiments show these walls insulated as well as modern fiberglass, creating a breathable barrier that kept homes warm and dry. The stench was a small price to pay when you're not freezing. The heart of the home, the mighty central hearth. The central hearth was the medieval MVP, a roaring fire that cooked meals, warmed bodies, and served as the village's gossip hub. Excavations from 14th century sites show these hearths kept homes at a toasty 10-15 degrees Celsius, even when it was below freezing outside. That's not exactly tropical, but for people without thermostats, it was a lifeline. The hearth smoke even doubled as pest control, preserving thatched roofs by repelling insects. Sure, it made the air a bit hazy, but when your alternative is frostbite, you don't complain. Peasants designed their single-room homes with precision. Sleeping areas were tucked away from drafts, and steeply angled roofs shed snow without losing the precious thatch. Some homes were even oriented to catch the sun's rays, soaking up every bit of natural warmth. Modern architects could learn a thing or two from these sun-chasing designs. Seasonal smarts adapting homes for winter. Medieval peasants didn't just build and forget, they tweaked their homes like seasoned DIYers. In autumn, they'd slap on fresh dug, pile extra thatch on roofs, and hang animal skins or woven blankets for added insulation. Think of it as medieval wall art with a purpose. Archaeological digs show these seasonal upgrades could boost a home's warmth by up to 15%. Smoke from the hearth wasn't a flaw, it was a feature, creating a warm insulating layer near the ceiling while keeping the roof bug-free. Studies of preserved thatch suggest this smoky environment doubled roof lifespans. These homes weren't perfect. The constant smoke stung the eyes, and a stray spark could turn your cozy cottage into a bonfire. But compared to freezing was a risk worth taking. A dance with the sun, the medieval daily routine. Medieval peasants didn't stumble through their days, they choreographed them with military precision. Their schedules revolved around the sun's warmth, maximizing every degree. The high sun hours, 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., were prime time for heavy work, as manor records from 1270 show villages finding anyone who slacked during this window. Winter routines were strict: wake before dawn, eat a big meal at 11 a.m., when communal ovens roared, and shift indoors by afternoon to preserve body heat. They even split their sleep into first sleep and second sleep, waking around midnight for light tasks or socializing before dozing off again. Medical texts from the 1300s endorse this pattern for health making. Our modern nap guilt looks silly. Villages used frost watches where families took turns tending communal fires overnight. Miss your shift, you'd owe eggs or firewood, as 1287 record notes. Some villages even had horn signals to warn of plunging temperatures, ensuring everyone stayed on high alert. Food as fuel, the science of medieval meals. Winter meals were a matter of survival, not just sustenance. Pottage, a simmering stew of roots, beans, and grains, was the star of the medieval kitchen. Manor records from 1285 describe its layers: root veggies for slow-burning energy, beans for protein, and grains for quick fuel. Analysis of cooking pot residues shows these stews provided balanced nutrition, rivaling modern diets. Kept simmering for days, pottage was safe to eat thanks to the heat-killing bacteria a trick modern food safety could appreciate. Fermented foods were the unsung heroes. Beer wine and pickled veggies packed calories and probiotics, boosting gut health. A 1290 record describes a thick winter beer with 400 calories per pint, basically a liquid meal. Studies of medieval remains reveal gut microbiomes far more diverse than ours, thanks to these fermented superfoods. Their dense, fibrous bread packed with bran and germ delivered more nutrients than modern loaves, keeping peasants fueled through the cold. Cozy chaos, sleeping like sardines. Medieval sleeping arrangements were a masterclass in heat conservation. Entire families, sometimes six or more, piled onto a single wooden platform padded with straw. Archaeological evidence from 1260 shows these setups raised bed temperatures by up to 8 degrees through shared body heat. They slept semi-reclined, reducing cold air exposure by 30%, in angled platforms at 15 degrees to trap heat while allowing air circulation. Some even built beds above cattle pens using animal warmth as natural underfloor heating. Villages had sleep inspectors to ensure efficient huddling with fines for families who spread out too much per year, a 1291 record. Spooning wasn't just cuddly, it was a survival tactic boosting body heat by 2 degrees C. These arrangements weren't luxurious, but they kept everyone alive. Wool, moss, and fat, the science of medieval fashion. Medieval winter clothing was a triumph of function over fashion. Wool was king-worn in up to 5 layers each with a purpose, soft inner layers for comfort, coarse outer ones for durability. Unwashed wool retained natural lanolin, making it 40% more water-resistant, as tests on preserved garments show. Some peasants stuffed clothes with moss or straw, which rivaled modern insulation in trapping heat. Animal fat and tree sap were rubbed into cloaks, creating waterproofing that lasted months per a 1280 recipe. Their pointy shoes and adjustable hoods weren't quirky, they minimized heat loss by 25% and blocked wind chill by 60% respectively. Villages held spinning bees to craft clothes, doubling as heat-sharing gatherings that saved firewood. These clothes were stored with antimicrobial herbs, a trick so effective it rivals modern mothballs. Animal allies livestock as living heaters. Bringing animals indoors wasn't just practical, it was genius. A single cow could raise a room's temperature by 3 degrees C, and a few animals together could add 10 degrees C per modern thermal studies. Cows were placed near beds, pigs by storage areas, and chickens in tight corners for maximum warmth. Medieval floor plans show pens designed to create warm air currents with raised platforms and feeding chutes to minimize heat loss. Composting floors of straw and ash added another 1 to 2 degrees while producing fertilizer. Manor records from 1280 detailed disputes over premium animals like large bulls valued for their heat output. Villages even had animal heat assessors to score livestock with calculations so accurate they're within 5% of modern thermodynamic models. These setups created a humid microclimate that preserved food and wood, proving peasants were masters of their environment. Community power survival. Through teamwork. Medieval villages were survival machines with systems that put modern HOAs to shame. Frost wardens planned winter strategies in summer, organizing wood-gathering teams that rotated roles for fairness. A 1285 record describes a point system for communal tasks tracked with notched sticks. Slackers got stuck in the draftiest spots during group gatherings. Communal halls used double entrances to trap heat, reducing loss by 45%. Churches doubled as warming rooms for the vulnerable, maintaining 8 degrees C above outdoor temperatures. Baking days were coordinated to save 60% of fuel, and some villages built heated tunnels or used hot rocks as portable heaters. These systems weren't just clever, they were lifesavers, ensuring no one was left in the cold. A legacy of warmth. Medieval peasants didn't have our tech, but they had grit, ingenuity, and a deep understanding of their world. Their homes, routines, and communities were fine-tuned for survival, blending trial and error wisdom with techniques that still impress scientists today. They didn't just endure winter, they thrived in it, proving that warmth isn't just about fire. It's about the human spirit working together to keep the chill at bay.